sound off just not too long because I don't want to give this too much gasoline, but I need to give it a little gas. I need to get my thoughts on out there for documentation purposes, okay? Because after Shakur Stevenson beat Teofimo Lopez, Conor Benn hopped in the ring. Now, this isn't the first time that Shakur Stevenson and Conor Benn have had a run-in. You know, they were on the Area Hawani podcast not so long ago, and they were going back and forth. And I said it back then. When they first were spotted together, I said it back then. Yo, we don't need to see this fight. Like, I got nothing personal against Conor Benn. I've met Conor Benn multiple times in real life. I interviewed Conor Benn 5 years ago. I covered his fight against Pete Dobson. He's a nice person, all right? I like Conor Benn. But Conor Benn, objectively speaking, the dude never won a British title. Conor Benn never won a British title. He never won I don't believe he ever won a Southern Area title. He never won the European title. He never even won any of the belts on the domestic level of British and European boxing. But because, and this is why I have to call a spade, because his last name is Ben, he's able to, you know, be in position to fight one of the top guys in and around his weight. Nah, man, that's bullshit. Conor Benn, if he wants to fight Shakur Stevenson, I feel like he should earn it, right? Not that Shakur is this big, you know, pay-per-view star or anything like that, but it doesn't make any sense. There's better fights for Shakur at 35 with Ram Rataya and guys like that. Even if Shakur was going to go to 47, he should be going to 47 trying to fight a guy like Devin Haney. You know, those have been two guys whose names have been linked since before they ever turned pro. Like, if he's going to go to 47, it should be something that's, you know, for a world title. Because if he goes to 47 and wins a world title, Shakur Stevenson will be a 5-division champion. There haven't been many of those in boxing. So I'm trying to figure out how this is even the thing, because really, like, Conor Benn does not deserve to be anywhere within spitting distance of Shakur Stevenson. If you want to just check under the hood of his career, right? I remember when Conor Benn fought one of my good friends, and shout out to one of my good friends in the fight game, Adrian Granados. You know, tough gatekeeper. He had the 2015 upset of the year over Amir Imam. And, you know, I like Adrian. Adrian was an overachiever in his career. He was poorly managed. He fought Conor Benn in the twilight of, you know, like his career, even though he's not officially retired, like the twilight of what he had left to give, right? And Adrian Granados is not even a pure boxer. Like, Adrian Granados isn't a guy that moves around the ring and circles the ring. Adrian Granados is a front foot dominant, you know, Mexican-American fighter with the Mexican style. His head's on the center line. He gets hit a lot. He was a very easy guy to hit. That's why a lot of times he would overwhelm guys with his volume punching style. But he would lose a lot of fights because a lot of these guys, like the Adrian Boners and Kermit Cintrons and them kind of guys, they would land the cleaner shots, and the judges would see that, and it would get those guys over the hump, right? So I'm saying all that to say that when Conor Benn fought Adrian Granados, who's not even a mover, who's not even a boxer like that, and this is when Conor Benn was on steroids. This is when Conor Benn had just knocked out Chris Algieri, right? Adrian Granados boxed Conor Benn, and he frustrated Conor Benn. Conor Benn couldn't cut out the ring on Adrian Granados. Conor Benn couldn't do nothing with Adrian Granados in terms of hurting him, in terms of putting him down, in terms of, like, you know, really showing that he was super superior to him, right? So my thing is, if you couldn't do that with Adrian Granados, right, you're not going to do it with Shakur Stevenson, who's a southpaw, who has the best distance control in the sport. If, you know, respect to another good friend of mine in the fight game, Pistol Pete Dobson. Bro, Pete Dobson, I know Pete. I saw Pete spar for that fight. Pete wasn't even in shape for that fight, and he was winning rounds. He was winning rounds off Conor Benn. If Pete Dobson would have been fully prepared for that fight and in shape, it probably would have went different, to be honest with you, because he probably won about, like, what, 4 rounds in that fight. And he was out of shape. I'm telling you, I saw him spar first couple sets. I was there for the first couple sparring sessions at camp, so I know what he looked like going into that fight. It doesn't make any sense. He doesn't deserve the fight. I'm saying that to say that he does not deserve the fight, and that if he wants that fight, that he needs to go fight Rolly Romero, because he was over there, you know, messing about with Rolly Romero, tugging his shoulder, you know, trying to get into a big wrestling match with him ringside. It's like, okay, go do that fight, because, you know, he is a world champion. whether people like to admit it or not, like he is a top guy in the welterweight division. He beat Ryan Garcia, right? Ryan Garcia is getting ready to fight for a world title. If Ryan Garcia beats Mario Barrios, that means that Rolly Romero has a win over a world champion, right? So I like that fight. Two action fighters, two guys that can punch, two guys with a big personality. Prove that you can beat Rolly, and if you can beat Rolly, then I feel like, okay, now the Shakur Stevenson fight makes sense. Because if Shakur Stevenson fights you next and you don't got a belt, then he's just doing it strictly because he's trying to build his brand, build his fan base, go to the UK, things like that. Like I would say that for Shakur Stevenson, him fighting Conor Benn would be like his version of Gervonta Davis versus Liam Walsh. Y'all remember when Tank fought Liam Walsh, that British dude they knocked out? It's slightly more competitive than that, but not by much. It's damn near the same thing. So that's why I stand on that, and I'll leave it there with Conor Benn and Shakur Stevenson. I can't believe it's really a thing. Shout out to Matt Borgerson with the super chat and the correction. He says that he got a regional title, the WBA Continental, in 2018. I mean, I guess. Okay, so I stand corrected. He got a WBA international title. That's cool. But my point remains, in the domestic levels of European and British boxing, he never won a title. And if he wanted to, if he won a WBA Continental title in 2018, it couldn't have been against anybody that's that good. Because back in 2018, he was fighting them guys like UC Cavola and Cedric Pinoy and them kind of guys. So, I mean, if he did win a WBA Continental title, they gifted it to him. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Shout out to my main man, 50 grand, Michael Ryan Pitts in the building. What's good, champ? Good to see you. Hope all is well. I mean, former IBO champion in Algeria, he was on PEDs, and it was both of their last fights. I mean, if you think I'm lying, go back and watch it. He fought Adrian Granados. Adrian Granados does not he's not no great defensive fighter. He boxed Conor Benn. He actually won a couple rounds off Conor Benn boxing him with his head on the center line. And Conor Benn got really pissed off. He could not cut the ring off. Man, Shakur Stevenson might be like Arturo Gatti versus Floyd Mayweather, to be honest with you.